Where is the live button? Where is the live button? Oh shit, we're live.
Are we?
Yeah, apparently.
Wow. What did you do?
Man, I don't fucking know.
I mean, you're supposed to be the expert.
uh, Buck. So when it comes to Twitch, sure. I've, I've done a bunch of research on doing stuff for Twitch, but
Hmm. I mean, okay.
oh wait, no, go back.
Go back
All
to
right.
what?
So can you go to the channel and see if we're streaming?
We are streaming.
All right. So can you post that in show announcements?
I can do that.
Okay. Oh god,
Oh god.
it's gonna be showing all of my shit.
All of your shit.
All my shit.
Man, that's
Oh
some
my.
interesting porn, man.
Oh my shit.
It's like, how fucking big is your goddamn screen? Holy shit.
It's yeah. It's it's. Let's move on. Okay.
It's like, are you using like a fucking TV or something?
No, no, no. It's just 27-inch monitor.
It's a I have a 27-inch monitor
Uh huh.
and I would not be able to use my scroll bar being that skinny.
Oh, I don't. You use the scroll bar? How?
No, not the scroll bar, the tool bar down at the bottom.
It's actually not that hard to
No,
use.
not that hard to use.
I also
I,
I
I
also also
it would
use
annoy me to no end.
I also use you'll see it in a second. I use desktop icons. So nobody's
I
seen that.
don't like desktop icons. I fucking hate having desktop icons. That is a fucking awesome picture.
Right? Right?
Yeah, if I could, I would have no desktop icons.
I I like because I use the folders and stuff because I can just double click. Where'd my icons go? Don't show this message again. I can double click and they're just gone, and then never use them, and then I'll double click again. They're all back. All right.
Okay.
Um, I don't know what's going on. What is the stream called? Okay, so at least it's called the right thing.
Um, where is Buck? That's what it's called.
Yep, good.
We don't know where Buck is. He said something about cooking dinner for a big gaggle fuck of people, but you know, he could be here in 5 minutes. He could not show up at all, and that would that would be it. Um, I was not here last week
Right.
for mental health reasons, whereas Buck is here, not here tonight because he can't say no to his parents.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We've I think we've established that a long time ago though.
I think I think we have. I think we have established that for both you and Buck. I mean, you don't even live with your parents, and yet they still make you do things. But that's because you're dumb enough not to drive your own car.
I drive my own car. What do you mean? Car's in my name.
So you're not the kind of person to let one of your parents pick you up and then ambush you into going and doing something that you don't want to do.
I was not entirely expecting that. Okay. And it's probably a good thing I went off to go do it anyway. I
True.
I I should know. The last time I went, they were telling me just off the bat because they were like, "Oh, insurance isn't going to cover this, so you're going to have to pay the full amount." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm screwed." um, but that's the reason why he took me to where he did, because there my insurance apparently um, covers 85% of everything,
Okay.
as well as I think I have a maximum of like 25 grand or something like that.
I I mean, I guess at this point we could really say that the biggest defining difference between you, Buck, and I is that I wouldn't have gone with. I would have walked home simply to simply on based on principle. I would have just walked home. It's like I don't want to go and do this thing. Well, if you don't go do this thing, then you're gonna walk home. It's like okay, bye. I would have walked home.
To explain what Piggy's getting after me for, my dad offered to take me to lunch to talk. We didn't really talk about much at really anything at all. We talked
So
about
when
his
he says
church.
talk, he means ambush.
Typically, when he says talk, it's like we have to talk about something, and so I was expecting something like that. We didn't really talk much. We got we ate, got back in the car. And he's like, "All right, I'm taking you over to the dentist." I'm like, oh, okay." Here we go. And I was there for like 3 hours talking to the dentist about shit. Um,
My reaction would have been no, you're taking me home.
home.
And then they would have said, no, I'm taking you to the dentist. I said, well, if you're not taking me home, then you're not really taking me anywhere. But the car's moving. I'm pretty sure there's a stoplight coming up here really quick. I've done that
Yeah,
before.
I don't think I care that much, and I think that's the difference between you and me. It's that I don't care that
it,
much.
it's not that I care. I mean, I care, but it's more of a my time is very valuable to me, and if I didn't plan on doing this myself, odds are I had other plans with my time. And you completely disregarding my wishes and my plans for my time, then I'm going to probably not go along with whatever plans you had.
It's
Like I've done this. I've literally said I've literally gotten out of the car at a stoplight because I was ready to go home, and they had me basically go with them on the premise that we were only going to go do one or two things. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but as soon as we're done with those one or two things, I'd like to come home. There's something I have planned to do as soon as this is done. And those one or two things turned into three things, and then four things, and then at fifth thing it says, "Hey, look, I'm ready to go home. If you want to keep doing these things, that's fine for you, but can you take me home first?" And they said, "No, you don't feel like driving all the way home just to drop you off so I can come out and do this thing." And I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll just walk home." It's like, why? It's like because my time is precious to me. Please take me home or let me out. They called my bluff, so I walked home. Like they literally, my mom literally said, "All right, well, we're stopped at the stoplight. You can get out now if you want." I was like, "All right, bye. See you at home." Walked home.
when you were a kid, or
I was 19, 18 or 19. I'm not sure. I don't really remember.
okay,
I don't remember how old I was. I know I was living in Panama City at the time.
were you living
So,
with your parents at the time too?
yes, I was living with my parents at the time. I was still in
Okay,
high school.
all right.
So, I think I was 18. I think it was 2005. It's like September or October 2005. But they basically dragged me out on a Saturday, and we were only supposed to go out, grab lunch, and then grab a couple of things from Walmart. But the Walmart turned into Target, turned into Kmart, turned into Kohl's, and we were at Beale's on the other side of town. And then it was going to turn into the mall. And I was like, okay, I think I'm done. So I spent the next 4 hours walking home just on a matter of principle.
Huh.
She never did that to me again, though.
Well,
Like,
I guess since the stream has started, I will introduce it. Hello, everybody. This is Locked and Loaded 69 and a half, apparently.
we have no real
Yeah,
plan for
we're
tonight.
Buck
We were
isn't here. I'm sick, so I'm actually kind of upset that I'm hosting it tonight. Because my voice is all nasally and I still haven't set
Your
up my
voice
mic.
is always nasally.
More than normal. More than
Not,
normal.
not really.
I can hear
I
it
mean,
more
I didn't
than
even know
normal.
you were sick. I just knew you didn't go to work because, you were posting articles and stuff before it was time.
I got back at like 4. Yeah.
Uh,
But nonetheless. So we have a few different articles, and then one just kind of topic that's not really connected to any article in specific. That being about vaping. So since Buck isn't here, I guess we can take control and actually talk about something like that.
yeah, we totally can because I mean, it's not like Buck is in control or anything.
Not at all. All right. Um. So to start us off, have you even bought or like looked into Discord Nitro?
I have seen ads for it, and I've seen some things that were kind of neat, but at the same time, not. I'm not really into subscription gaming, which is why I'm not going to be playing World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft Classic. It's like I got a subscription just to play it, just to see if I would actually stick with it, and it does not hold me. It's like I got to level 7 and I haven't played since the Tuesday after Classic WoW launched, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to pay $14 a month for a game I'm not going to play. It's like
Yeah.
it's
No, I don't
just
think I
no.
would ever be interested in
It's
joining into World of Warcraft Classic.
it's like, well, the game is it's not that it's not fun,
To me,
you
it's
know,
not.
but it's not enthralling like I want a game to be.
Mm.
It's like I can sit on a game like Gothic Armada 2
Okay.
and be enthralled by it for 12 hours, right? But a game like WoW, no. I can play that for like a maximum of 4 hours before I'm just like, all right, I'm fucking bored.
What the hell is Gothic Armada 2?
It is a tactical space naval game set in the Warhammer 40K universe based on the tabletop game. It's fun. It's fun for me. I have
And
fun
it's
with
an
it.
MMO?
It is not.
Oh, okay.
It's a single. It has multiplayer features. I think it's got a co-op
Campaign.
in the campaign where you can have. I don't know if you can have multiple people controlling the same fleet at the same time, but it would be interesting if you could, because it would be. Um,
Maybe you pick 2 different factions in the campaign or something.
Well, there's several different factions. You have the Imperial Navy.
Oh, I'm
The
fully aware of all the factions that are
Well, these are the factions that are in the game.
okay.
You have the Imperial Navy, the Astartes, the Space Marines, the Adeptus Mechanicus, and those are the human factions. They're all kind of together. Um, then you have the Necrons, which I actually really want to get to that campaign because I love the Necrons. Tyranids, Eldar. I think the Dark Eldar are also a faction. I can't remember. And did I say the Tyranids already?
Maybe.
I did. And then the Chaos Space Marines. And I don't remember if the Orcs are in as a playable faction in this one. But basically, it bases the whole gameplay, everything in the game off of the tabletop version, where um you have a certain number of command points, and that dictates what ships you can have and how many ships you can have. So, like, say you have a small frigate that's worth 41 command points. Well, you can have a total of 50 in, not 50, but 500 in your command. So and you have the ability to have all the way up to light cruisers starting out. And the light cruisers are like 150, 163 depending on depending on which one you pick. And then you have to mix to have a balance because each one is good for different things, you know? If you just go with nothing but capital ships, your whole fleet's going to be kind of slow, and it's going to be kind of lacking in detection capabilities and things like that. So you got to kind of pick what you want while keeping in mind having the ability to actually fight, because a lot of things there, everybody has stealth capabilities below cruisers. It's like they can do running silent, and you won't be able to see them unless you have detection. They'll be able to see you and attack you and everything, but you won't be able to see and attack them unless you can detect them. And that's what frigates are good for. They have a scanner pulse that detects stealthed units, but it's on a timer. Like it only lasts for about detection only lasts for about 45 seconds, and the scanner pulse has a 60-second cooldown. Right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because it has levels of strategy, but the combat is focused on tactics. You know?
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you.
But I enjoy the game. I'm not very good at the game. I'm playing it on easy because I like the gameplay, but I'm really bad at the game. So I tried playing it on normal difficulty when I first got it, probably 3 or 4 months ago, and I got incredibly frustrated because uh, the uh, the AI cheats.
Really?
Uh huh. The AI cheats and I lose. Not even joking. The AI cheats. It just does. It's like fighting against Chaos Space Marines. They have nothing but light cruisers. They are all in stealth mode. All of them are faster even than my freaking frigates, and they all outrange me by like 4,500 units.
Hmm.
So I can't catch them because they're faster than me, and I can't shoot them because they outrange me. So yeah, the AI cheats. Eldar are the fucking worst though. Just fucking god damn it. Hit and run. All of their attacks like completely They're glass cannons. They're really really fast, and they hit really really far, really really hard. But they get their asses completely stomped when they can't move. You watching the trailer right
I'm
now?
not watching since you've decided that this is the point of conversation. Might as well have something connected to it.
Yeah. Freaking I love the game. And it's kind of, I guess you could call it, with how they put it together, it's more of a grand strategy game, but at the same time not quite. So you can capture systems and everything, and you can upgrade the stuff in that system. But different systems will have different stuff. So you'll have ag worlds, and you'll have hive worlds, and you'll have forge worlds, and things like that. They all do different things, and they all buff your your faction a certain way. Like hive worlds, um, they produce currency, resources, right? And you can upgrade them by 3 tiers. But your fleet has upkeep. You know
God damn it! Stop! Jesus Christ!
what am I doing?
Not you.
You're
Steam
trying
does
to
this.
you're trying to keep it muted.
Yeah, every time I touch
Yeah,
it, it unmutes itself. It's just like
yeah.
Jesus. Why?
So, freaking, you have to as your fleets grow, you have to have more hive worlds upgraded in order to sustain that fleet and still get resources. So in the early stages and even the later stages, you have to balance how much fleet you actually have compared to how many resources you actually have coming in. And worlds and shipyards. Shipyards have a certain number of construction points to them that they regen for every single turn. So you can only build so many ships at a specific shipyard, and they all have different levels of ships that they can build. You have critical shipyards that can actually build the most massive of ships, but each tier of ship requires more points per build. So the highest tier ship, no matter what, at the largest shipyard, you're only going to be able to build one per turn, or not even per turn. It takes all of the action points from that shipyard in that one turn, but the shipyard only generates 3 points out of 9 per turn. So you can build the massive ship, but you have to wait another 3 turns before you can build another one. You know? So there's a lot of strategy and layering and picking your upgrades properly and going for certain buffs over certain others, and making sure your fleet is balanced, that it's not too big, but at the same time not so small that you can't actually defend your sectors or anything like that. It's a really good game. I really enjoy it.
Well, coming back to what we were talking about.
Back to Discord, Nitro Games.
Okay, so Discord Nitro Games is going to be closing in October. October seems to be the death of a lot of things right now. Discord's Nitro program, a subscription based service, offers enhanced features on the platform and unlimited access to a library of indie and big budget games is being closed. Discord said today that it's learned a lot since Nitro went live in October 2018, including the vast majority of Nitro subscribers don't actually play the games. So, after careful consideration, we won't be hitting continue when these contracts come up for renewal, Discord wrote. The Nitro Games catalog will be removed on October 15th, 2019. Nitro was available for $10 a month or $100 a year, or $5 per month for the Discord perks, a custom Discord tag, custom emojis with a larger file upload limit, that sort of thing. Without the games, the price points will be maintained, but the packages will change to reflect the absence of the games. The $10 plan will also support higher quality Go Live streams and enable subscribers to boost servers they're on, and had the had its maximum upload speed doubled to 100 megabits. The number of boosts required for each level 3 has been cut from 50 to 20, and the $5 subscription will now offer the chat perks.
All the chat perks.
Yes.
But will not enable server boosting. Servers can be boosted up to 3 levels. What does the server boosting do?
I've seen it when you click on somebody else's server. I think actually it's on your server yourself. So if I click on my server, it like shows boost this server or something like that. I'm not entirely sure.
I heard somebody enter.
I'm here.
Oh,
Finally.
Jesus
Hey,
Fucking
fucking Christ.
we don't need that guy.
He is loud as shit.
You'll turn
Am
him
I?
down.
Yeah, no, you're good, you're good. Don't change anything. I just turned you like way down. So.
You okay?
So we were talking about Discord Nitro.
Yes.
Okay. This
So
is, all I know is that they're shutting down because there's not enough people supporting it.
It's not that they're not supporting it. It's that they're not actually playing the games that they're paying to play.
yeah. So it's not Nitro itself that's shutting down, it's the games service, the games library within Nitro.
Okay. The reward system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you're subscribed to the $10 plan, you get access to a library of games. But the vast majority of Nitro subscribers aren't actually playing any of those games, likely because they already own the games or aren't interested in the games that are on offer.
Okay.
So they're doing away with the game services, but they're changing the features so that they keep the plan scheme where you got the $10 plan and the $5 plan
Mhm.
to include different things.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Still not gonna get the service.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in the service either.
Where is?
What are you looking for?
I wanted to see if there was an article. There was an article for it. Discord's Nitro Games.
Yeah, we're in the middle of
Yeah.
looking at said article.
Okay.
So more additions to the $10 package are promised for the future. Discord says it's going to double down on making sure Nitro nails its mission, and the more features, fun, and enhancements for hanging out in Discord with people you care about. It also invited subscribers to submit suggestions for features they'd like to see added through the Discord support site. Current Nitro subscribers will have access to their games until October 15th, and any games purchased through Discord, as well as Nitro's game perks, will not be affected. Recent subscribers who would like to request a refund may do so here.
I mean, at least they're option to get the refund.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Server boosting. Want to share some extra special love perks with your favorite community? With Server Boosts, you and your community will now be able to work together to unlock some fresh, new, and improved collective perks from a server of your choice each month to share those epic perks with the rest of your server community. So it's basically making the server, I don't know. So level 1 perks, plus 50 emoji slots for an additional 100 emojis. 128 kilobit audio quality. Wait, what? It's upping the audio quality? For the...
So if you pay, you get better sound in your servers?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, for level 3 perks, you also get 100 slots, 100 more slots, 384 kilobits audio quality, which is actually really nice. That's kind of standard for like good quality music. Good is relative here.
Yeah.
100 megabit upload limit for all members, server only, and a vanity URL. So, yeah, how many boosts? You get 20 server boosts to get to level 3. So 20 people who are in your server who have Nitro have to boost your server to get it to level 3 to get better audio quality. That seems weird to me.
Yeah.
Mostly because audio quality is not dependent on the server, but on whatever hardware you have.
Actually, that's not
No,
entirely
that's
true.
not entirely true.
Yeah,
Well,
if
okay.
you, a server can only produce, Discord server at least, can only produce so much, streaming quality of the sound that goes through.
So
if you
think of it like this. In right now, you remember like old telephone lines, like 16 kilobit connection telephone lines. Do you remember how they sounded?
Yeah.
Distorted as shit, right? That's where you're starting to get into audio quality of the server, because it instead of like our what right now what we're doing, like how we're talking to each other, it's being compressed as it goes through that server, and as it
Correct.
decompresses there's distortion to it, so it doesn't sound as good as it would be if we were like sitting right next to each other.
Right.
So if you increase the bandwidth of the server, there's not as much compression, and then the sound is clearer and it sounds better.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
That's it in a nutshell. There's a lot more details to it. There's compression schemes. There's a lot of details to it that I just kind of glazed over, but that's the long and short of it.
So basically, yeah. So to reach level 30 or level 30,
Level
level
3.
3 has been cut from 50 to 20, which is actually quite nice.
Yeah.
That seems doable. For like smaller servers. Because like when you get to bigger servers, sometimes that increase of audio quality doesn't even matter. There's too much shit going on anyway. All right. So yeah, not enough people are playing the free games that they pay for. That's an oxymoron. The next article that we have up is this one, and I'm kind of skipping over because we don't have as much time as we normally do. We're going to be doing this, and is it okay if we just jump over to vape after this, or do you want to do something else? Because I picked both of these. Their pick.
It's fine. I mean, so I'm not really tracking what happened with the Belgium banning.
All right, I'm hoping this will explain. All right, I was very interested in this. All right, so BBC News put out an article a few days ago called "Gaming Loot Boxes: What Happened When Belgium Banned Them." All right, so loot boxes in gaming should be treated the same way as gambling, says a group of MPs. That would mean the kind of in-game purchases where players who don't know what's in the box until they bought it would be banned for under 18s. If that does come into force in the UK, what would it actually mean for the everyday gamers? For the answer, we can look to Belgium, which took a step to ban the loot boxes altogether last year. Gamers supportive of the ban. Loot boxes allow players to spend real money to unlock special characters and equipments or skins in-game. The reason they're sometimes accused of being gambling is because they're not guaranteed anything good or valuable when buying the box.
That's not an accusation. That's actually gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the definition of gambling. You're spending money trying to get something that of value in return, but instead, surprise, you got shit.
Yep.
Yeah, like me buying a $2 lottery ticket and not winning anything.
Exactly, which is why I don't do scratch off tickets or play lottery.
And what gets me about it with this whole thing is that these items aren't anything tangible. They're just files.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Yeah,
sometimes you can get some really cool looking skins, but that's about it. The biggest,
Well,
the biggest,
Go
it's
ahead.
like the biggest egregious thing about loot boxes, though, I think, is it's not even the cosmetic stuff, right?
It's the in-game
Mhm.
effects.
That's just effects. It's for other people to look at you and like, oh, that looks cool. It's the pay to win style loot boxes where you get super overpowered equipment and all of a sudden you're better than everyone else because you spent $10 on it.
Yeah, like getting
yeah.
if you purchase in PUBG, if you purchase their what's it called? Their season pass, you get a
Mhm.
certain amount of coins per I think season or something that you can spend on the crates. And sometimes those crates will not only give you cosmetics but also give you supply drops. So things like vehicles and shit like that can be just dropped on your head whenever you want it.
Which is
Man, when did they
pretty
add
cool.
that?
That's recent.
Okay.
And I hate
One
it,
less reason to play PUBG.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really down for that for the battlegrounds play style, the game style.
I do.
Yeah, that format.
I enjoy it. But they're an element of chance, like a lucky dip. They're popular in many games such as FIFA, Call of Duty, and Apex Legends, but it was Star Wars Battlefront 2 which kicked off the debate in Belgium. In 2017, the game was criticized by players because of the major characters, such as Princess Leia and Darth Vader, had to be unlocked through loot boxes. The backlash led to publishers EA to suspend in-game purchases. I don't think they're putting enough emphasis on this.
Yeah.
The gamers were actually pretty supportive of the ban, says the Bill Gang gaming journalist. Him. Gamers tend to
Ronald
see
McDonald.
exactly.
Fucking.
Ronald Meus.
Gamers tend to see it as something dishonest and something that can create a competitive advantage inside the game. Along with Battlefront 2, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say competitive if you're a competitive spender.
Right. If you make enough. The Belgian Gaming Commission investigated FIFA 18, Overwatch, and Counter-Strike Global Offensive. The video game companies don't agree, of course. Companies like EA are debating it pretty fiercely. They even went so far as to rename the loot boxes. Oh my god. What? They did?
Wow.
EA called them
Surprise mechanics.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I once got into a fight with someone about this online. They're like, well, how is, the example they used was Pokemon. Like, well, Pokemon's gambling because you don't know what you're going to catch. I'm like, you don't pay money to catch the thing.
Right.
You
You don't pay money for the encounter.
You pay money for the game, and then you go out and find the thing that you want to catch.
And if you don't get
Like,
it, you go somewhere else.
It's a random freaking it's a random freaking encounter. Sometimes you'll catch a whole bunch of these shits.
Like that whole random encounter thing is core to Pokemon. These fucking loot boxes, they don't have any effect on well, I shouldn't say they don't have effect on gameplay, but they're not a core part of the game.
Well, okay, so you pay what, $60 to play Battlefront 2, and then you pay another $680 to get Darth Vader,
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like with freaking Pokemon, all you pay is the $20 or $30 to get the game. And then it's not like you gotta have to pay a penny for every random encounter that you get.
right?
It's like, holy shit, that would fucking build up fast. It's like random encounter. You must pay 1 cent to who progress beyond this point. It's like,
So,
what?
EA called them surprise mechanics. And one of the company's vice presidents compared them to Kinder eggs.
Okay.
Kinder
so let's
eggs,
go ahead and blow a couple of holes in this argument really quick.
Well, let's see. Kinder eggs, you get chocolate.
That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, you get chocolate. And then you get a random toy. There is no time where you buy an Kinder egg where you don't get a toy.
And the people who were buying Kinder eggs just for the toy, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Someone's a completionist.
Some loot box can also be won as rewards in game rather than being bought with real money. Though these still are frowned upon.
Those are fine.
Yeah, I still don't like them. Though these are still frowned upon by the Gaming Commission in Belgium, they are in the game. They are allowed.
I think that random loot boxes that you earn through gameplay is fine. In fact, I actually think that is how you should do loot boxes. The better you perform in the game, the better chances you get for the really good ones.
Or how about, you do something like, older video games, or like how Destiny does it, where, okay, you want this specific armor, this looking armor, okay, you go out there and you do the specific task in the game, like actually play the game to get that specific armor or gun or whatever.
Well, I was also about to say that these loot boxes would be more of a shortcut to something that you can unlock in the game by doing specific repetitive tasks. So say, let's go back to old school Modern Warfare.
Okay.
You progress. You can unlock everything in the game.
Correct.
Right? Just through playing the game by performing specific actions. You can unlock this weapon skin by doing headshots with this specific weapon a certain number of times. At the end of a match, you can randomly unlock this weapon skin for this weapon or another weapon or whatever through that loot box.
Then it loses its value.
It doesn't, though.
Yeah, it does. The thing that gives that thing value is how difficult it is to get it.
Okay.
Like you have a skin on a weapon. Okay, that skin says that you did this task that is in some way difficult. Or it's like, compare it to like freaking saying, it's not a bad thing that Jesus, I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. Shit.
I'm sure we've already done.
Just say it.
Affirmative action. That's the word I was looking for. It's not a bad thing that affirmative action puts black people at the top of the list. It changes the way you view the job that the person got. Either in one way, you get the job because you're the best at that job. In the other way, you get the job because either you were the best at that job, or maybe you just got to put at that list because of how you were born. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but I don't really... I mean, on the affirmative action thing, I actually completely 100% agree with you. But
you don't agree with the comparison.
I don't agree with comparison, no.
Okay.
I don't agree with the
point you're trying to make. It's an imperfect
I do see the comparison that I do see the comparison you're trying to make.
Okay.
But I don't agree that it's the same thing, and I don't even really agree with the comparison that you're trying to make. I mean, on the one hand, it's like I could see how that is with, say there is this one thing that takes thousands of hours to unlock.
Yeah.
Right? and it's a source of pride type thing.
Right.
Say going to 10th level prestige in freaking Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2,
Right.
right? That's a fucking grind.
Right.
That is thousands of hours of gameplay. A loot box isn't going to unlock that for you. Right? It's just not. But there are other things that you could unlock that don't really have that same level. So like one of the things with the weapon skins, the camo paints, is as you prestige, you know, reset everything that you can unlock.
Okay.
And you unlock everything. It's actually fairly easy to unlock everything. So that's not really a source of pride or anything. You know? It's like it's getting headshots with this type of weapon. You can.
How is that not a source of pride though?
It's, believe me, once you've done it like 500 times, it's not.
All right.
It's like 240.
Hold on.
200.
What?
Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm gonna throw this into mine and Buck's wheelhouse since I'd never played any first-person shooters. All right. Was it a source of pride for you to get, the last word in D2?
No,
No,
because I don't use it. I don't like it.
but you have it.
I have it, but I don't like it.
That doesn't give you pride that you were actually able to do it.
If it was a gun I liked, I'd have more pride in it.
Okay, pick a gun that you liked. Like you liked the Chaperone, right?
Yeah.
That was hard.
That was difficult. The Ace of Spades was difficult.
Okay, the Ace
but
of Spades.
like what Pigs was saying, I did a challenge in Modern Warfare 2. It was get 2,500 kills with one gun. That was the end, quote unquote, end game challenge, was to do this. And by the time I got it, I did not want to see the game ever again.
But, I feel you there. Okay,
So,
okay. I
my
concede. I concede. Because Buck put that in a different perspective for me.
Okay, good. It's like there was my favorite skin on my favorite weapon, right?
Mhm.
Once I unlocked that, I didn't care about anything else. It would be nice. I still continued to try to unlock everything else, but that was more a matter of principle for me at the time than it was for, hey, look, I unlocked this. It's like, it's not that hard to do. And freaking loot boxes, they would have quickened that for me because I did have a matter of principle that I went by. I didn't go to the next prestige level until I unlocked every single weapon skin and the associated perks with them. Right? I just didn't. I did not want to go to the next level until I completed everything.
Yeah.
And some guns, that was more of a chore than anything. Like getting 250 headshot kills on a fucking Vector.
That's
Holy
difficult.
Shit. Yes. It's not even difficult in a challenging, I'm going to win and this is going to be a source of pride for me way. It's difficult in this is fucking retarded.
Yeah, I can see what you guys are saying. I'm used to like the closest thing for me is Destiny 2, but I'm used to like Mass Effect and like the source of prides of Mass Effect and freaking Fallout. The source of prides of like going out there and
with RPGs, it's different, and I'll explain why. With RPGs, you craft this character. You seek out this character the way you build this character to be a specific way, and you display your actions on this character. With Modern Warfare 2, the only time anybody actually saw your gun, like what skin your gun was, is when you killed them, and they watched the kill cam. That's it.
And most people would just skip it for a faster spawn time unless they were really concerned with how you killed them.
Right.
Yeah. So in games like that, where it's a multiplayer shooter where you just have different game types, that's one thing. So like imagine Destiny 2 was nothing but what's it called? The Colosseum.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not what it's called, but I've had a little bit too much vodka. I'm
Yeah.
sick.
Imagine that was all that Destiny 2 was.
That would suck.
It would, but imagine that's all it was. And the only thing that you really unlocked was weapon skins. And you got them by completing certain relatively easy tasks repetitively.
It would get boring. I
It
get you.
would get boring.
I get you.
But instead you have Destiny 2 where you have to go through, and in order to unlock these certain things, it is a matter of pride, because you went through this really, really difficult mission, and you did it enough times to actually get random drop that only comes from this mission. This is a difficult ass mission, and you have to go through this run perfectly, maybe 15, 20 times. And you managed to complete that mission 15, 20 times, and you unlocked this bit of loot. You're going to have pride in that because it was difficult to get. It was very difficult to get.
Like the shotgun from Mars.
Yeah.
What is it called, Buck?
The Ikelos shotgun,
yeah, the
which I
Ikelos
finally
shotgun.
got.
Oh, damn it. Fuck you. Alright, something that, not to completely move on from this, because I do feel like you made your point, but, this just made me laugh. EA's Kerry Hopkins argued loot boxes are quite enjoyable to people. No.
Yeah, gang.
No, I just... I think
nobody enjoys loot boxes unless they have $1 million and they're pay to win loot boxes, and every bit of enjoyment they get out of that game is shitting on other people's experience.
Yeah.
Like
however,
I'll be completely honest. I don't mind the loot boxes in something like TF2 because the most you're gonna get out of it is a
goofy skin,
a goofy hat, or maybe a gun that keeps track of kills. And like that's something I like. Oh, I'd buy maybe one loot crate a week in TF2. That's it. The others I would just hold on to, or I'd sell them on the market, whatever.
Yeah, but Team Fortress 2 was that a no, it was still a pay to play game. You bought it, right?
I got it when it went free to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think at this point most people got it when it went free to play, unless you got the orange box.
So let's talk in the case of a game like Apex Legends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Loot boxes, yay or nay?
I don't care as much. Probably simply because the game is free, and I don't have to buy anything. I mean, I am a little upset by the fact that what comes in loot boxes, because like let's say you do something fantastic, right? You get a kill, and it's the last kill of the game, and the character that you play does not have a tracker for their banner to show when like there's a trackers that go on the banner that show up whenever you start, right? For kills, for SMG kills, for wins, right? So the character that I play the most is Wraith. I've always been a stealth character. When I played Star Wars, The Old Republic, I played a scoundrel. I've always played stealth. I enjoy it. It's my kind of gameplay. I like being backstabbing. But so I play Wraith, and unfortunately, even though I had won in season 2 like 4 times, I never got trackers from the loot boxes for Wraith. I would always get them for other players or other characters that I don't play. So when it shows up, and the only way you typically, unless your your teammates, because it has to be teammates, there's no single player. The only thing that you know about them, unless they're on voice chat, is by their banner on whether or not they'll be good. My banner is basically empty for Wraith. Because even though I've done a shit on her, I don't get anything from loot boxes for Wraith. So it just looks like I'm just starting out, or I have no idea what I'm doing. That kind of
that's a really good way to make people underestimate you, though.
True, but it does slightly annoy me because I'm grouped up with people that are like, have all these different things, all these kills, all these wins, and I'm just sitting there with nothing on the banner. It's a little disheartening, but because the game is free, I don't really care all that much. Could make, and I think for games like that, multiplayer free-to-play games that don't have ads in them, I can accept loot boxes and microtransactions.
Okay, we're on agreement then.
But if a game has like ads, or if you have to pay for it, it should never have microtransactions. You should never pay for a game. This is my opinion. You should never pay for a game, and unless it's DLC, have to pay more money to play that game.
What makes DLC different?
Hold that thought. I'll give you something. Let me close my door here.
Okay. I will respond while he's doing that. For me, because there's so much more content. Now, granted, this is a faith-based. Like, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't just hold it back from the original release, because there have been companies that do that. But most of the DLC that I'm used to, now again, I don't play first-person shooters, so I know that there are DLC for like first-person shooters that are like new maps and shit.
That's basically it.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I'm talking about, like Skyrim or Fallout DLC, where you get a whole new main quest with a bunch of different stuff that they had to code, art, get new voice actors for, where it's basically a new game within the game that you're already playing.
So basically, an expansion.
An expansion. That's
instead
that
of
what
it,
DLC is.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Okay. DLC is. So back in the day, an expansion was like a full-on expansion. We're talking Diablo 2, Lords of Destruction type expansion. Right?
Okay.
You remember playing that? The massive difference between, like, the massive change that the expansion brought to the game.
No,
that's an expansion.
Keep going. Expansions, so, like you again, you're gonna have to relate this to me with like RPGs that are like third person, first person.
Okay, so Witcher 3.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm on board there.
It's got two or three DLCs. The vampire one. And
Blood and Wine.
Yeah, Blood and Wine, and there was another one.
Cold Heart.
That one.
No, Heart of Stone.
No. Both of those with the size. Yeah, just forget about the name. With the size and scope that those actually brought to the game,
right,
I would consider those expansions worth $15, $20.
Right.
Right? But something that brings like one or two maps, or maybe a couple of interesting little things That's a DLC.
Okay.
That's the difference for me.
Okay.
It's like an expansion.
I can agree to your term.
So like say Fallout 3.
Tone.
So what was the DLC, the Brotherhood of Steel DLC?
If you're returning to Broken Steel, the one that
Yeah.
expands the game to last past the story.
Yep, that's an expansion.
Okay.
Okay? But say instead of it actually expanding it beyond the main story, all it did was add a couple of side missions here and there, or a short story quest
So the
that only
DLC for
adds
Fallout 4.
basically. That's DLC.
Okay.
You know, it's
I
like if it's something that actually would be an addition to the main game, like a real full-on addition, extending the scope of the game beyond the end of the original game, that's an expansion. Whereas DLC is just something that kind of adds a little bit here and there to the main game itself.
So the horse
Yeah.
armor from Oblivion. I think it was Oblivion. Do you remember the horse
Not
armor
an expansion.
DLC?
Sure.
That's not an expansion.
Do you not remember the horse armor DLC?
Yes, I do.
No. I'm asking Pig.
I remember the horse armor DLC. That is DLC.
All right. So, feel like you made your point, but something we haven't gotten to the point of the article where they actually explain the title, what happened, and I kind of want to get there before we have to end the show.
All right.
Don't mean to cut you off. Okay.
No, you're fine. I made my point.
Belgium's gambling rules are already quite strict, he adds, and I guess it's an established sort of culture that makes Belgium the kind of pioneer for this whole discussion. Many UK gamers feel the same. When you speak to any gamer, even gamers who do buy those games or do buy into loot boxes, none of them are happy with it. Games journalist and PR person told Newbest in June.
Newsbeat.
Thank you. They don't deem it as being fun. They wish it wasn't there. Loot boxes have crossed over from free mobile games to console and PC games in the past few years, as the game's developers have pour and more money into creating more innovative and impressive titles. Games prices haven't really gone up dramatically, so they try to make their money back in other ways, which is just not true. That's when you make millions of dollars on a game, like, they don't need to. Okay, so you sell 2.2 million copies in the first month, right? 2.2 million. There's a specific number that I don't remember what it's actually connected to.
Hold on, let me bust out the calculator here.
So $60 times 2.2.
Well, it's 132 million.
132 million. All right.
How much money was spent on producing the game? What's a typical figure?
Let's see. How much money?
You've got to factor in development costs, marketing.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's just say all the money that's gone into producing this game.
So, while you're doing this, can I give you an example of DLC that I'm okay with? Not expansions, DLC strictly.
Sure.
Killing Floor 2. Recently they've said, look, we have to put out weapon packs. We want to keep supporting the game. Sales have tapered off. We got to make money. So we're going to put out packs for new guns that you have to buy. However, Tripwire's golden rule with Killing Floor is whatever guns you buy will not outperform the guns you get with the game. They might be different. They might be cooler. But let's say a tier 4 gun that you buy will not be able to outperform a stock tier 4 gun. Bar none. So that way,
So say instead of say you get one of these weapon packs, a tier
Yeah.
4 gun, instead of like being a really neat submachine gun that shoots regular bullets, it shoots flashy lights.
okay, lasers.
Sure,
Okay,
Okay.
but it still does the same amount of damage as the regular one.
so let me explain. According to most places, it was reported publicly that even though EA expected to make 5.6 billion from Star Wars Battlefront 2, they made 1.1 billion in profits.
In profits.
Before the microtransactions.
How much money went into developing the game?
It's not. I'm not able to find that. It's not showing it publicly.
Okay.
So
1.6 billion?
yes. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
Let's go Mets.
Okay, it's gone now. I'm not playing with that. It's playing music. It's at 1.04 billion in profits.
So yeah, no, loot boxes were not.
Yeah, I disagree with that statement. Because they a lot of companies like fucking what was it? 4 million copies of Fallout 4 were sold, not including its DLC because there was only one expansion. I don't consider, like, you could kind of consider Nuka World to be an expansion, but not entirely. Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
so
here's an example of an expansion. Say Borderlands 1.
Okay.
The island of Dr. Ned.
Zed.
Zed. Wasn't
Yes.
it Ned?
No, it was Zed.
Okay. The island of Dr. Zed. That I would actually consider that an expansion.
I think most of the expansions for both Borderlands that have come out can be considered expansions.
Yeah. I mean, if it was just something that would like add different guns to the game, that would be DLC. But the completely different area plus the completely different story quest line, that's an expansion.
Yeah. All right.
You know?
So, so let's keep going. So they try to make their money back in other ways, which is why in-game purchases have become so big. The UK's Digital Culture, Media and Sports Committee inquiries into addictive and immersive technologies heard stories of young adults who had built up debts of thousands of pounds through spending in games. Jenks, the company behind the online game RuneScape, admitted players could spend up to £1,000 a week or £5,000 a month. But the group of MPs looking into this also said that some of the game's companies didn't give clear answers, especially on questions about what data was collected and the psychology underpinning how games are designed. In 2018, computer scientists suggested there was a link between loot boxes and the problem of gambling, but enforcing a ban on loot boxes for under 18s might prove difficult for the government, given consoles and online accounts can be easily shared by many people.
There's a very good solution for that.
Just ban it entirely for everyone.
Just ban loot boxes entirely.
Yeah. That's my stance.
In games that you have to pay for, ban loot boxes entirely.
I mean, UK does have that whole, you have to be, you have to prove that you're this age to, with a card. Is it a card to, like, watch porn or something? Like, you have to show your ID?
There is a, I could be wrong, but there's a license that you have to get in order to watch pornography, yes.
Yeah, or at least that's what was being talked about being put into place.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it is
So, like,
actually...
but there's already a thing that kind of does that. It's called a credit card. You have to be 18 to get a credit card.
Right.
Now, it's not that hard for a kid to go and steal mom and dad's credit card.
Correct.
But, see,
Not
that's a
that-
problem in the home that the parents should address, not the government.
There's a lot of bullshit that I don't think we should get into now. It is actually 8 o'clock for us, which means it's 11 for you, I believe.
It is. It is. It is.
Would you like to
So that-
touch up on the vaping topic before we end, or would you like to end now?
I think it would just be a good idea to end now.
All right, that is
Something,
fine.
something tells me that the vaping topic can wait until next week, and we can give it some more airtime because that's
True.
not something that's going to go away in the span of a
soon.
week.
Also, like, I'm pretty sure that you, Pav, you and I are the only ones who give a shit about the vaping.
Probably, but it is something to talk about because it is bullshit.
It is.
And we like talking about bullshit.
We do.
And next
Yes,
week I
indeed.
probably won't be sick. Oh, wait, next week I won't be here.
Oh.
Maybe. Depends on when my flight gets off. Probably won't be here.
Flight?
I am going to be in Atlanta.
All right, wedding.
Yep.
Ah, yes. Now I remember. All right. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to bother with the closing remarks as we've already made those closing remarks a couple of times. This has been your Locked and Loaded. Where the fuck is Buck?
I'm right here.
Episode 6, I guess episode 69 and a half.
I'll change that to 70.
No, make it a half.
We did the full
Make
2
it
hours.
and a half. No, we didn't.
No, we did only 72
Mm.
minutes.
We've only been streaming for 72 minutes.
Yeah, we waited
Oh.
for you and you never showed up, so we started streaming around 6:50.
So
I
that
should have
being
said start without me. I told you I was going to be late. I
Yeah.
didn't mean don't start.
We were still just we were hoping you would get here only like 20 or 30 minutes late
Yeah.
rather than an hour.
No, dinner took a lot fucking longer than I thought.
Story of my life.
Yeah. Well, next time I'll have a new rig, so maybe I can actually stream.
Right.
Yay. Ladies and gentlemen,
We'll
thank you and
see
good
how-
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, Jesus, how do I turn this off?